I wanted to draw your attention to, or demonstrate before this commission, that there is other involvement of police officers. An example that I'm putting here is one police officer from Johannesburg Metro. This police officer is a very close associate of the arrested Mr. Katiso Molefe. On the 5th of February 2025, this Metro Police Officer, Johannes Mahatle, who works at JMPD, he deposited a statement, an affidavit, during the investigation that was conducted by GCI Ops following the arrest of Mr. Molefe, which happened on the 6th of December last year. So this is him explaining in his own affidavit that he deposited. The reason for the team to approach him and ask him to deposit an affidavit is because of his presence during the arrest of Katiso Molefe and the role that he played on that day. I'm going to quote on what he says on his affidavit, Commissioner, on page 7222 on my statement. In this affidavit, Officer Mahatle states that he became acquainted with Warrant Officer Michael Puletau, a former member of the South African Police Detective Branch, Johannesburg Central, who is an accused with Mr. Molefe in the Vereeniging murder case of Mr. Swart, as a fellow police officer during 2008. So it is him who's admitting that he's close friends with both of the suspects on a Vereeniging case. Through him, that is the detective, he was introduced to Mr. Katiso Molefe, with whom he struck a close relationship over time, and they established direct contact. He says, I understand that Warrant Officer Tau resigned from the service after he was arrested and charged for murder of Mr. Swart. What he stated under oath, Commissioners, is that on the 6th of December, the day where Mr. Molefe was arrested, he reported on duty, and while he's on duty, he received a phone call from Mr. Molefe, who was complaining about a suspicious vehicle that was parked on the street next to his house. And he immediately proceeded to Molefe's residence. And he fetched Mr. Molefe, and they drove to the vehicle that Molefe was suspended, which means he transported Mr. Molefe with his own vehicles, not knowing whether it's a state vehicle he was using, or municipality vehicle, or his private vehicle. It doesn't indicate it. But he fetched Molefe, and he drove with Molefe to the suspected vehicle. And he took note of the car's registration number. And with the use of the ACPS system available to him, the system that he has an access to, he then used that to check the registration number of this vehicle in order to establish who is the owner of the vehicle. He then got out of the car and he approached the occupant of the vehicle and introduced himself. And thereafter, he went back into his vehicle, and then he informed Mr. Molefe that the vehicle is a police vehicle. And after that, they drove back with Mr. Molefe, and he dropped him off at his home, and he went on with his patrols. And then he says, on the very same day, later, Mr. Molefe's son, Neo, informed him that Mr. Molefe was arrested on the same matter that Officer Tau was arrested on, which is a Vereeniging case. So as I said, commissioners that the team that is investigating that took this statement from him, they will come before this commission and they will explain in details about the role of this member. But my problem I have with him, other than knowing the person, but start doing the favors of the person, that becomes a problem. In that he then go and test the vehicle to establish the ownership, and he goes and brief his friend or his associate to say, oh, this is a police vehicle, so don't worry about it. That is the first concern that we have with regard to this officer. So which means he then he uses his advantage position of being a traffic police officer to advance the interest of Mr. Kati Somlief. There are many other things that are contained on the statement, and also to confirm, Commissioner, whether on the day was he on duty or not, officially, that he claimed he was on duty for. The team that is going to come will come and explain further to the Commissioner that what have they discovered, whether was this man actually on duty on the day when he claims that he was on duty, or he was not on duty. He might have perhaps provided the wrong information. And that is as far as I want to leave in as far as the Metropolis is concerned.
Thank you, General.
Sorry, before you leave that, General, paragraph 228 of your statement.
Yeah, Commissioner, if I may read this one on the record, where it says that he also renewed licenses for vehicles at Mr. Molife's request, for which he will receive gratification. So Mr. Molife will ask him to register the vehicles, and he will do that, and of course, there will be a reward coming from Mr. Molife in that regard. So the affidavit that he wrote, we attached it here. Although it's handwritten, I hope the Commissioner will be able to see as marked MK18 on the annexures of this individual. So we want to demonstrate, Commissioners, that a police officer of his status is indeed conducting himself in an unprofessional manner, and the unlawful conduct of abusing the state resources as well as his position as a police officer in order to benefit his friends, in this case Mr. Molife, is what makes us reach a conclusion that these are some of police officers within the Metropolis that are playing part to supporting the work or the illegal activities that is done by some criminals out there.
Get ready.
Dr. Joy, welcome to Dr.